I don't put a line on a drawing board that the answer isn't there. The answer is within yourself.
These houses built upon this plan are good for 300 years, I should think. It didn't exist anywhere. It had to be made.
In the early 20th century, a visionary architect emerged, reshaping the landscape of design and challenging the very foundations of traditional architecture. This is the story of Frank Lloyd Wright, a man whose genius and innovation marked a turning point in history.
When did you first decide to make architecture your life work?
Well, fortunately, I never had to decide. It was decided for me before I was born. My mother was a teacher, and she wanted an architect for a son. I happened to be the son, and of course, naturally, an architect.
Frank Lloyd Wright's early years were deeply influenced by the landscapes of American Midwest. Surrounded by the rolling hills and prairies of Wisconsin, Wright developed an appreciation for nature that would later define his architectural philosophy. Wright surprisingly had his formal education in civil engineering at the University of Wisconsin, since at the time there were no architecture courses.
We were poor. We had no money to send me to an architectural school, and Madison, our home, had an engineering school, and a very kind dean, Professor Conover, gave me a stipend to work for him and work my way through the course at the university, and I worked my way almost through it. If I'd stayed 3 months longer, I would have been given a degree as an engineer, but I was anxious to be an architect.
Inspired by the simplicity and functionality of Japanese architecture, as well as the work of the arts and crafts movement, Wright began to form his own vision for a uniquely American architectural style. Wright's philosophy of organic architecture aimed to create structures that coexisted harmoniously with their natural surroundings. He envisioned buildings as an integral part of the landscape, seamlessly blended into the environment rather than dominating it.
Organic architecture is an architecture from within outward, in which entity is the ideal. We don't use the word organic as referring to something hanging in a butcher shop, you know. Organic means, in philosophic sense, entity.
This revolutionary approach challenged the rigid norms of the time. Falling water, inspired by the rocks and waterfalls of its site, exemplify Wright's commitment to integrating form and function.
Well, there was a rock ledge bank beside the waterfall, and the natural thing seemed to be to cantilever the house from the rock bank over the fall.
The low horizontal lines of the Taliesin West mirror the Arizona desert landscape, while the spiral form of the Guggenheim Museum symbolizes a departure from traditional museum design.
Would you say that any of Sullivan's ideas in architecture influenced you at that time?
Naturally. They were influencing nearly everybody in the country.
How so?
He was the real radical of his day.
Wright's apprenticeship under Louis Sullivan, often considered the father of skyscrapers, was a pivotal period in his life. Sullivan's mantra, "Form follows function," resonated with Wright and greatly influenced his evolving design philosophy. This mentorship marked the beginning of Wright's independent ventures. Wright's early projects, such as the Winslow House and the Robbie House, showcase his departure from historical revival styles. The emphasis on horizontal lines, overhanging eaves, and open floor plans became hallmarks of what would later be known as the Prairie School style. Wright's collaboration with other architects in the Prairie School movement wasn't just about shared aesthetics. It was a collective vision to redefine American architecture. The movement emphasized craftsmanship, simplicity, and a connection to nature influenced residential design across the country. The legacy of the Prairie School movement can still be seen in neighborhoods across America. The wide overhanging eaves, horizontal lines, and the integration with nature continue to influence residential architecture, demonstrating the lasting impact of Wright's design principles.
Fellow architects have called him everything from a great poet to an insupportable windbag. The clergy have deplored his morals, creditors have deplored his financial habits, politicians his opinions.
Wright faced many personal tragedies, including the murder of his lover and several financial setbacks. These challenges, however devastating, fueled Wright's determination to forge ahead with his architectural vision. His resilience in the face of adversity became a defining characteristic of his career. As the architectural landscape shifted, Wright found himself navigating changing tastes and preferences. Modernism and new technologies challenged traditional approaches, prompting Wright to adapt and innovate, leading to the development of some of his most iconic designs. Faced with financial difficulties and a changing architectural scene, Wright's creativity flourished. Experimental projects such as the unbuilt mile-high Illinois skyscraper pushed the boundaries of what was considered possible, showcasing his relentless pursuit of innovation. The Usonian houses, a culmination of Wright's later career, represented affordable and efficient designs for the American middle class. These homes, characterized by open floor plans and a strong connection to nature, demonstrated Wright's adaptability and continued relevance in the evolving world of architecture.
Would you recount for us some of the things which are fundamentally your own innovations in architecture?
Well, it would be pretty difficult and be a long story, too, perhaps too long for this.
Wright was not only an advocate for organic architecture, but was also a pioneer in incorporating new materials, from the extensive use of reinforced concrete to the experimentation with glass. Wright's designs embraced technologies, advancements, and challenging traditional notions of construction. The integration of technology into Wright's designs not only improved structural capabilities, but also allowed for new forms and shapes, from the Johnson wax building's dendriform columns to the intricate glass patterns of the Ennis house. Technology became a tool for artistic expression. Wright's impact extended beyond his built structures. His teachings and philosophy inspired generations of architects.
In your years of experience, what conclusions have you reached as to the roles and duties of the teacher and those of the student?
I'm expected to answer that now, am I? I'm no teacher. Never wanted to teach and don't believe in teaching and art. Science, yes, business, of course, but an art cannot be taught.
The architectural teachings established at Towson and later the Towson West became a place for innovative thinkers who would go on to shape the future of architecture. As we reflect on the life and work of Frank Lloyd Wright, it's clear that his ideas have left an enduring impact on the world of architecture. His vision, resilience, and innovative spirit have become guiding lights for those who seek to break free from the conventional norms. Frank Lloyd Wright was more than an architect. He was a pioneer who, against all odds, turned challenges into opportunities and forever altered the course of architectural history.
Don't put a line on a drawing board that the answer isn't there. The answer is within yourself, within the nature of the thing that you yourself represent as yourself. That's where architecture lies. That's where humanity lies. That's where the future we're going to have lies. If we're ever going to amount to anything, it's there now, and all we have to do is to develop it.